We're going to dance it out a little bit. I'm going to dance it out. Well, you going to get on, dance it out with me? I'm going to get right into it. I'm not even going to give you time to get on. You're going to have to catch the replay to hear all the stuff I say at the beginning. Because you know what? If you don't show up at 8, when I'm hopping on at 8, then you're going to miss what we say, right? So I appreciate every single one of you that takes time out of your day to get on and just hear what I have to say to you, okay? How you doing, Hope? The reason why I appreciate it is because, listen, time is the absolute most important thing that you can give to anybody, especially yourself. Time is one of those resources that isn't so abundant to many people. Time is one of those things that we typically forget that we can prioritize and we can fit things into our life and our schedule, okay? And here's the thing. Time is going to go by with or without you. I would rather time go by with you while you create happiness in your life. Because guess what? Happiness is a choice. Being happy is a choice. Being positive is a choice. The things that happen to you out of your control, those are not a choice, okay? And one of the things that people tend to forget, myself included, is that there's a lot of strength in knowing what's in your control and what's out of your control. And then realizing and recognizing that life is literally 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And one of the things that I've learned through my life, okay, if you haven't taken a moment to learn a little bit about me, I don't want to get too deep into my story, but I want you to understand where I come from perspective-wise, where I come from mentally and physically and emotionally and even spiritually, because at the end of the day, everybody should believe that there is a bigger purpose to your life and there is always something greater than you, okay? Whether you believe in the universe, or you believe in God or Buddha or whatever it is that you believe in, I want you to understand something. However you were created individual and you were created perfectly the way that you are. Your gift to your creator is becoming the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Because you have that potential, you have that greatness inside of you. You have that purpose inside of you. The thing is digging it out of you, okay? And the thing is we've spent all of our lives, we've spent our entire life getting to this point, okay, where we've been taught things about ourselves that aren't true. We've been diagnosed with things that don't define us. We've been told things by people that don't appreciate us. Things that we've let become the narrative of our story. Now, I want you to understand something. Your story, you're the author of it. At any given time of your story and your life, if you do not like the characters in it, if you do not like the plot, if you don't like the scenario, you can ultimately rewrite it. The more that you live in the old chapters of your life and get trapped in it and suffer through them, the longer you go through the same lessons or the same journey over and over again. What I want you to do is, I want you to do this. I want you to understand that I spent 10 years of my life being in the same story. Being in the same story of a husband whose wife was a drug addict and an alcoholic. I was married to her for 3 years. We were together for 8. I stayed there because I told myself I had to be there, because there was nowhere else for me to be, because there was no way that anybody else was going to care for me or appreciate me the way that I was. I was almost 400 pounds. I was a mess, guys. I was a complete mess. And I felt like that's all I deserved. In August 11th of 2015, I had my last and final domestic with my ex-wife. At almost 400 pounds, I found myself a single father of 3 kids, 2 boys that are biologically are mine, and my stepdaughter of 8 years. In November of 2015, she was taken out of our lives due to a guardianship case where I had no control because I was a step-parent. That broke me. That broke me to a point where I can't even begin to describe to you, because the whole reason for the 10 years of suffering that I had was for them, was for her. It was for our children. And now I was left with what I felt like a broken promise that I had given to myself to be there for these children, and a broken purpose, so to speak. Well, on December 1st, 2015, I woke up. I was almost 400 pounds. I had bad acid reflux and severe sleep apnea, and I slept with a CPAP machine. And if I was to describe it to you, if you don't have one of those, or you don't know what one is, or you don't understand what they are or what it's about, people with sleep apnea, they stop breathing in their sleep in the middle of the night, and it's like being on a leash in your own bed. A grown man on a leash in his own bed so that he could breathe and sleep at night to stay alive. And I want to tell you, on the morning of December 1st, 2015, I woke up and I tore my mask off because I couldn't breathe. I was choking on my own acid reflux, and I literally thought that I was going to die. And I don't say that lightly. I share this story unapologetically to show other people that there's hope and to give other people hope, because guess what? At any given moment, if you want to change the narrative of your story, you can. All you have to do is take hold of the pen. Well, that morning of December 1st, I got out of bed. I ripped my mask off. I ran to the bathroom. I ate an entire roll of antacids, trying to get my acid reflux to just the fire to be put out in my throat. I literally had a conversation with myself in the mirror, and I said to myself that morning, you need to do something about your life, or your children may not have a father. That was a pivotal moment for me, because for 10 years I had tried every gimmick out there. For 10 years I tried every fad diet there was. For 10 years I tried pills. For 10 years I tried fat burners. For 10 years I tried cutting carbs. For 10 years I made a resolution, a broken promise to myself every year that I was going to change my ways. I was going to change my life. And every year I lied to myself. Every year I broke that promise. Every single year. For 10 years. I knew something was different that morning. I knew that I wanted to live. I knew that my boys deserved to have the father that they deserved. And the man that I looked at in the mirror that morning wasn't that man. I was not the father that they deserved. They deserved better. They deserved more. I deserved better. Okay? So since December 1st, 2015, I have worked effort after effort through program after program, through life's curveballs and all kinds of different things. And I want to tell you something, because one of the biggest things, one of the questions that I'm asked the most is how? How do you stay committed? How do you stay so committed to your purpose? How do you stay so dedicated? How is it that you get up and you push yourself every single day? I want to tell you, there are going to be days where you're not going to want to. There are absolutely going to be those days. I promise you. I want you to get comfortable with the fact that there are going to be days where you're going to fail. And it's okay. Your journey is not linear. It's not a sprint. It's not a 40-yard dash. It's a marathon, baby. It's a marathon. If you want to stay in the race, the key is to pace yourself. The key is to understand and give yourself grace and be patient. The key to success is to simply show up even on the days where you don't want to, because at the end of the day, anytime I didn't want to, or told myself I didn't have time, or told myself that I couldn't, I did it anyways. And the reason that I did it anyways is because I deserve it. It's not selfish to care about yourself. It's absolutely 100% selfless. You are absolutely no good to anybody around you if you don't take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you're no good to your children. If you don't take care of yourself, you're no good to your parents, to your friends, to your coworkers. If you're not the best version of yourself, how can you be good for anybody else if you can't be good enough for yourself? Okay? I want you to understand something. You're not going to win every single day, and it's okay. If you don't win the day, I want you to win the week. If you don't win the week, you could win the month. If you don't win the month, win the year. And guess what? We're coming up on a new decade. It's going to be a new decade. And if there's anybody out there that's trying to get you to have those fear tactics of 2020 is not going to be any different for you if you don't do something. No, I don't want you to think like that. What I want you to think like is this. 2020 can be very different from any year that you've lived as long as you start caring about you. The problem is it's so easy to break a promise to ourselves. You need to make that promise to other people. You need to make that promise to everybody around you. Because if you start thinking about you being the best version of yourself, helping everybody else, that's where the growth is. I literally found myself by losing myself in the service of other people. It's been my mission to be unapologetically raw and honest and unfiltered, sharing my story, sharing my passion of hope with other people, sharing the things that God's done in my life. For me to be able to share that with other people is very humbling. And the reason why I do it is because if I can help one other person have hope in their life, to know that the things that they've been told their entire life by your parents, by bullies in school, by your teachers who told you you'd never be who you were destined to be, or that you have greatness within you and you can achieve things that they don't assume that you could, I want you to unlearn all those things. I want you to go into 2020 without carrying around those old stories, those narratives. I want you to literally unpack the luggage that you've been carrying through your entire life. I want you to set it down. You don't need the weight of that stress on your shoulders anymore. Past relationships are the past. Past situations are the past. I don't want you to continue to cheat on your future with your past. What I want you to do instead is this. If it's done and over with, set it down. It becomes very heavy to carry these things through your life. What I want you to do is I want you to leave all of the baggage from the past decade, not just last year. Leave that in 2019. I want you to go into 2020 feeling light. I want you to go into 2020 feeling strong. I want you to go into 2020 feeling limitless and knowing that you can have, be, and do anything that you want in life because you are limitless. I want you to understand something. No one on this planet is perfect. But you were made perfectly you because you're important. There is nobody on this earth that's like you. No matter how bad you pick yourself apart, no matter how embarrassed you are about certain parts of your life or yourself, it's okay. Because if you don't like the narrative, you can change it. Anybody can lose weight, gain weight, get healthy. What I want you to do for 2020 is I want you to focus on your mind and your heart. Because if you don't work your mind and your heart, you're going to be a healthier version of your broken self. And we're going to start off this new decade different than any other time of your life, any other year of your life. We're not going to set a resolution. What we're going to do is we're going to change our lifestyle. We're going to change our thought process going into things. We're going to understand that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react. And I'm not telling you you're going to react perfectly every time, because guess what? I said it before. There are 0% of perfect people in this world, but at the end of the day, guess what? Guess what? If you take everything that happens to you as a lesson and stop saying, why me, and start saying, what can I learn from this? You're going to change your life every single day. Every single day. I want you to start finding the gratitude in your days. And I don't say that lightly. I'm a guy who fought tooth and nail for gratitude. I never believed that it would work. I never believed that it was for me, but I want to tell you, every single morning before I step off of my bed, I thank God every single day for another day alive. I thank him for another day that I can use my own two legs to get up out of bed, because some people in this world are not capable of doing so. I thank God every single morning that I have the mental capacity to change my mindset, to personally develop myself, because some people do not have that opportunity. I thank God for another day alive every single day. And what I do is I take that day and I dedicate it to becoming a better version of myself. And how I do that is I learn from my mistakes. I fail often. And I always continue to push forward and pick up the pieces. Because guess what? You have survived every single one of your worst days up until this moment of your life. And we're still here, baby. We are absolutely still here, right? If you've survived all of that stuff, those things, those situations, those relationships, those environments, those jobs, what I want you to do is this. If you're not happy right now, start taking action, because the distance between who you are today and who you're destined to be is action. That's the distance. More action will get you there quicker. Less action will get you there slower. But I promise you, as long as you take action, you're going to get there, okay? What I want you to understand is this. As long as you recognize that gratitude's not going to fix everything, that working out's not going to fix everything, that simply everything is fixable. That everything that's going on in your life right now that is painful to you is temporary. Because listen, you're only a victim once. After that, you're choosing it. You choose to suffer. Pain is your message. Suffering is a choice. You're a victim once. After that, you're a volunteer. Don't volunteer for that stuff in your life, because you know what? At the end of the day, happiness is always a choice. Perspective is always a choice. Positivity, gratitude is always a choice. Gratitude in the darkest hours is always a choice. What I want you to do is I want you to understand something. If you're part of communities like this, there are people out there just like me, just like you, who care about people, who want to see the good in everybody, who want to help empower you, love you, and inspire you to become who you deserve to be. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. Don't ever hesitate to ask somebody a question. Don't ever hesitate to lean in when you're having a bad day. Don't ever hesitate feeling like you don't want to trouble somebody with your issues. Your issues are our issues. And you want to know why? Because we want to see you do good. We want to see you be good. And we want to see you find your happiness, create that abundance, and find that. Okay? And as I said in the beginning, those of you that may have missed it, time. Time is the most valuable resource that we have in this life, and you're only given the amount of time that you're given. You're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised anything. I want you to take the time that you have. I want you to take these moments that you have and give the right amount of effort. And what I want you to do is this. I want you to understand that you have you got one shot. I think Eminem said, don't miss your chance to blow, right? Let loose. Enjoy life. Do the things that you've always wanted to do. I always share with people the thought process that I have about not missing the concert. And I want to leave you with that, okay? Because I want you to do more of that in 2020. I always tell people this, okay? I want you to think about a time. I want you to think about a moment where a friend of yours called And the concert can be anything. It could be any moment in your life. I use the concert as a analogy to have people understand where I'm coming from, because a lot of people have that relatable moment. So your friend calls you and says, hey, our favorite band is in town. They're playing Thursday night. I have a ticket for you to go. All you got to do is drive to get there. And immediately, the first thing we do is we start thinking about all the reasons why we can't go. We literally do. It's human nature. We think about, we need to work the next day. It's going to be late. We need gas money. We don't have money to attend. Those of us that are parents, we think about, what are we going to do with our kids while we go to this concert? It's my favorite band. I've always wanted to see them play. They're in town. I have a free ticket to go. It's not possible for me to go. I can't get the time off of work. I'll never make it in time. I don't have money to park. Those are all the things that we talk to ourselves. During that moment, we do. Primarily, most people do that. Then you talk yourself out of going. And then the following day, your friend messages you and says, man, you missed the greatest concert ever. We met the band after the show. They invited us on the tour bus. We got autographs. We spent the night with them. We learned so much stuff. It was epic. You should have been there. And here you are, wishing you didn't talk yourself out of it, wishing you didn't miss that opportunity. I don't want you to miss the concert. And the concert could be anything in your life that you're given as an opportunity to do something that you truly want to do, that you are ready to do. I want you to say yes to more in 2020. I want you to say yes to things and forget about the details. Honestly, the details will kill your dreams. Just say yes and then figure it out as you go. That's how my entire journey has been for the last 4 years. I am literally in the middle of the country right now. I grew up for 38 years in New England. I was born in Massachusetts, raised in New Hampshire. I moved 1,700 miles away. I met my wife. We had a baby. I've lost 130 pounds. And it's become my purpose and my passion to share that story and that message with everybody that I come across, to give them hope, to help inspire them and empower them to not miss the opportunities that they have in their life, to not miss the concert. Don't miss the concert. So what are you going to do for 2020? I want you to comment below, and I want you to tell me one thing that you're going to say yes to that you've been putting off for years. I'm not saying you're going to solve it tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to be done in a week. Maybe it takes months before you get I want you to just take the steps to get into the right direction and to start heading there, okay? And I want you to understand something. Your journey is not linear. There are going to be peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows, positives and negatives. I want you to just roll with it. Rock with it. Roll with it. Rock with it. I know Oviedo. I know he's jamming right now. I'm telling you, what I want you to do is I want you to spend more time in your own head, in your own heart, in your own journey. For 2020, I want you to do something for yourself, okay? I'm going to be in this group for a while. I'm going to stay in this thread. If you have questions for me, I will answer them. If you have anything else that you think that I need to touch base on, I couldn't read all of your comments. I will read them when I get off here, but I want you to understand something, okay? My affirmation is still just as rock solid today as it was 4 years ago when I started this. Some of you guys know it. If you don't, write it down and repeat it to yourself daily. It helps so many people. It's just an empowering thing to hear those words and to know and recognize them. So listen. If nobody told you today, you're beautiful. You are loved. You are blessed. You are the best, and there's nobody better than you. You are better than nobody but the person that you were yesterday, and tomorrow you'll be even better than you are today. You can have, you can be, and you can do anything that you want in life because you're limitless. Don't forget those words.